Wonge varini kinyokin kikusiake maninki.
Welcome back to AI Transformational Playbook. In our last two episodes, we spent a lot of time unpacking why AI projects fail, readiness gaps, poor operational maturity, unrealistic expectation, and leadership misalignment. But today, we want to shift the conversation a little slightly. So instead of focusing on failure, I think it's important to unpack what successful AI transformation actually looks like in real organization. So joining me again today is Scott Archibald, executive transformation strategist and former Gatland leader with deep experience helping organizations navigate operational transformation, leadership alignment, and enterprise scale change. So Scott always brings a practical transformation lens to these conversations, focusing not just on technology, but on what organizations operationally need to do to succeed. Welcome once more, Scott.
Thanks, Eric. It's great to be here. I appreciate these conversations. I love your practical experience and what we've been talking about here. And I really like the conversation we're going to have today because it starts to look at the reality of how to scale AI and kind of getting away from experimentation. I think a lot of people are out there experimenting and now they're kind of, well, what do I do now? And so I think this is the next logical step is how do I scale some of these AI efforts that I might be looking at and within a company. So good to be here.
Yeah, I think it's an important distinction because the market is shifting from should we explore AI to how do we actually scale this successfully without creating chaos.
And I think the other thing that people are starting to think about a little is a little bit of a necessity, right? As a competitive advantage, the operational gains that you're going to get with it. There's a lot of great things that come with AI, but I think people are also starting to think about strategically, what is my competitive advantage? What differentiates me from my competitors by my use of AI? And I think that's a different way of thinking about it rather than, oh, well, I'm just going to augment some process over here with AI or something like that. Those are great things to do, but I think the thinking's starting to progress into that differentiation as well. And so that also is something you want to think about before you go and scale a bunch of AI efforts, right?
So I wanted us to start with the human side of AI transformation. So one thing I still think organizations are estimating is the people side of AI transformation. So we know with this, what I can call a song, there's a song outside there, AI will take your jobs, and it's making a lot of organizations think they will just work with robots and they are forgetting the people side of the transformation process.
Yeah. And I think a lot of organizations are spending a lot of time looking at the technology, they're evaluating the tools, but they're not really understanding where their workforce is. How ready are they to use AI as part of their job? Not that AI is going to replace them, but how is AI going to help them in their job? And we talked about that last time. It's got to be the people, process, and technology, right? And so I think the people part is you look at any program or project that's been done in technology in the past, we always underplay the people part. But this one, with AI, it's really important because of the way that, like you said, the perception is we're going to get rid of all the people and we're just going to run AI robots. And the reality that a lot of people are coming to, and the media is coming to, is AI is going to augment the work that people are doing. It's going to help people do faster work, right? So I think this is a great topic to talk about.
I think transformation resistance usually increases when communication is weak. Last time I saw a friend mentioning on social media that AI will not replace jobs. Those who use AI will replace those who don't use AI. And I was like, oh, that actually makes sense. We're seeing a lot of promotion about AI agents. Who are those creating the agents? People are still creating the agents. And when you look at the workload that the agents have, the AI agents are going to be doing, automating, there's still someone who needs to supervise all of that and make sure everything goes in alignment with the ambitions of the company or the task of the workload.
Yep. And I think that's the thing that people are starting to see is AI can be a great tool for me as a worker, no matter what my job is, right? It can help me find answers quicker. It can help me find data. It can help me sift through large amounts of information and data to find what I'm looking for. These are all great things, but it doesn't replace the fact that maybe I'm a person working in a company, and maybe I've been there a few years, maybe I've been there 10 years, 20 years, but I understand how things work, and I understand a lot of the decisions that need to be made that aren't coded into a process right now, and maybe never will be, right? They're just things that happen in a workday that nobody ever planned for. And as a human, you're able to understand what the problem is and figure out the best way to resolve that. AI kind of struggles with that right now in a lot of cases. So I think augmentation is the key word here for the workforce, right?
Yeah. I'm talking about augmentation. I think employees need clarity around augmentation versus replacement. So changes, expectations, and new workflows.
And I think you look at AI, especially in the last year or two, but there's still a lot of it today. A company says we're going to do AI pilots or we're going to implement AI. And really the first thought that I think people have is, oh my gosh, I'm going to get replaced, right? And so I think it's really important to communicate as you're doing these AI programs, even if you're just experimenting, or maybe you're ready to roll something out and you're in more of an execution, maybe you're scaling to the whole enterprise, whatever the case might be, I think you really want to communicate to your employees, what is the intent of AI in the company? And how is it there to augment the work that people are doing? If it is going to replace people or certain parts of a job, then be clear with that. I think that's kind of the minority. But look at operational changes. What kind of expectations? Are there new workflows that are going to have to be dealt with? Those are the kind of things that I think the employees are really interested in hearing about, to give them a sense of, I don't want to say security, but a sense of, oh, this is going to be with me. It's going to help me. Then I think they're more willing to actually participate in the AI pilot or rollout rather than sabotage it, right? So yeah. I think the human aspect here is really important. I was just thinking it's a little bit ironic because AI is thought of as robots, and what we're saying is the human piece can't be left out, right? So you really have to take it into consideration.
You mentioned employee workers sabotaging the process. I think the first thing that comes with implementation, like you mentioned, everyone feels like they're going to get replaced. Then we have fear. That's what the fear actually leads to, maybe internal resistance, which is what you mentioned, sabotage. And that generally slows down the adoption process.
I've seen organizations that try and implement AI and they're doing some automation with it, and there's very little communication that goes out to the workforce. And so they spiral, right? They think, oh my gosh, they're going to replace me. They don't know what they're doing. They just kind of run with it. And a lot of this is the media influence and different things that people are hearing, but it's kind of fear of the unknown. And so they interpret it incorrectly, and you have that fear that goes up. The adoption gets slowed because they're sabotaging it. They don't want to use it. Or maybe they use it, but they say it didn't really work that great, and the feedback isn't great. And so that resistance starts to slow it down. And I think again, I just think we underplay this one too much. And I think you should almost have a scorecard around this part of the process. How are the people adopting it? What are they saying about the process? What are they saying about AI? Is it helping? Is it hurting? You want to get the honest answers out there, and not just kind of what they think you want to hear. Or else I don't think your project's really going to be successful with AI.
When it's not successful, it will not more be a technology failure. So you see the problem, the primary issue will not be technology, it will be communication and leadership alignment. So
exactly. I think the AI transformation, it's ultimately people working differently. You're almost transforming the people and the jobs that they're doing with implementing AI and really scaling that out. And so I think when you're able to really be successful with AI, you've probably altered the way that people are doing their job, and for the better, right? I hate to say they're more productive, because I think when you look at the productivity measures, people roll their eyes and 200% productivity gain, nobody believes it, right? But I think people will be more productive. I think they'll enjoy their job more. They can spend time on the things that they really want to do in that job versus the things that were maybe the mundane tasks that we can have AI do, right? And that will be different for everybody, but I think a successful AI transformation is definitely going to, part of it, if not all of it, it's going to include a people transformation. So
going now to what the successful AI transformation looks like, So looking at organizations succeeding with AI right now, what patterns do you notice consistently with them? What are they doing differently?
Well, you look at, I think the ones that are successful, what stands out is they're treating this like any other transformation from a technology standpoint. So again, we talked in the past, we talked about these major inflection points. So cloud computing, mobile computing, RP, client server, all these different technology advances and inflection points that happened in the industry over the last few decades. Any of these were successfully implemented the same way in that the program is run with sound fundamentals, right? So I should have a scorecard of what's my cost, how fast do I want to go, so what's my schedule, are things on track or not, the people resource that I need. These are all program management 101 kind of stuff, right? So it's all that. But I think with AI, it's also, you want to look a little bit at, am I learning along the way? Are my people that are working on this, are we learning about the process in the company that we're looking at and where maybe things need to be shored up? Is the data integrity what we thought it would be? You're probably going to learn a lot of things that maybe don't directly, you maybe wouldn't link to the AI program itself. And that's okay. You want to learn these things because that's going to help you really scale out AI in the future. But I think it all starts with just sound fundamentals.
I think those who are succeeding are usually not just chasing the trends or they're not carried away by the new tools, and we have new tools every day. So they still focus on their business problems first and they try to solve that. Then
because I think everybody will want to scale AI, right? They'll see something good with it in a pilot or in a small implementation, and then they'll want to scale that out. And I think what people start to find is, and again, this would probably be true with anything they were doing in the past, is when you start to scale things, it exposes the weakness and the vulnerabilities that you have out there, right? Whether it be process, data, people, cultural, all these different factors. If you're not sound with those, well, then AI is just going to expose that weakness, right? And so again, I think you just have to have really solid fundamentals and understand what is it you're trying to do? How does that impact the people, process, and technology aspects of it? And if one of those is broken or isn't working very well, AI is going to shine a big bright light on it as you try to implement it, and especially as you scale it out. Because, and you've seen this, when you implement with something small and it's pretty isolated, you see what works, what doesn't work, right? Then if you don't fix what didn't work and you try and scale that out, boy, it's just kind of a disaster, right? Because it's amplified by so much. So I think really understanding the weaknesses, where the broken process are, that's probably the biggest thing you're going to learn in some of these AI pilots as you go to scale.
when I listen to you speak, you actually mentioned it earlier. I feel like I'm in a business 101 class. So do you think we are overthinking AI and creating, let's say, a zombie that is inexistent? Meanwhile, we just need to go back to all our business fundamentals and apply them. Business fundamentals as aligning leadership expectation early, establishing success metrics upfront, or involving operations team early. Those are all business fundamentals, dependent of AI.
I think you're right. I think, and we do this time and time again with technology because it's really easy to do. With technology, you can think about what things could be, all the great things that you could have with AI, all the great things that you could have with the internet 30 years ago. We jump ahead to this vision or dream that we have, which isn't a bad thing, but then we start to think we can get there tomorrow, right? And we can't. And so I think this is the same thing. Don't jump. It's okay to dream. You definitely want to have a vision. You want to have a strategy. You want to have some kind of sense of what do things probably look like in a couple of years, but just realize you're not going to get there overnight, just like we've never gotten there overnight with anything that's come out, right? So I think the piece that we keep seeing, and we keep talking about this, is AI. It has to sit on solid infrastructure. And I'm not talking about networks and wireless and all that. I'm talking about process, governance, data that you can trust, right? All these different things. Because if you don't have that and you try and put AI on top of it, we've seen what will happen. And then, like you said, they blame the technology when maybe you had a people problem or maybe you had a process problem, right? You didn't necessarily have a technology problem.
Gloria.